Oh, silver can't make up its mind. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. But I'm not actually going to put more money into silver because I have a suspicion that it probably will go below 26, solidly below 26. Right now, the situation has changed again. And looking at, I'll get onto like a little bit very briefly with a chart, but it looks like it might have had a double bottom. Went bounced off to 26 something. Same with gold, but I'm not sure. I keep thinking about the conspiracy theory, about false flag incidents and all this type of stuff. And you never know. I mean, something like that could bring all the markets down, including the metals markets. Maybe the only market that might go up is oil. Now, like I said, silver it either seems to be on or off. I mean, it's terrible one day, and then the next day it's going up. And that's really all the commodities. But it really boils down to one thing. They suspect or they see monetary easing by all the central banks. Just to cut right to it. I mean, not only did silver go up, I mean, it was gold, platinum, palladium, and all that, but it was copper, it was soybeans, hit a real big high. All the commodities. And if you want to look at this index, a lot of people aren't familiar with this. This is right off of investmenttools.com, basically an educational site. It's the Commodity Research Bureau Index from 1987 to now. And you see what happened here, if I'm making this large enough. We had the high in 2007 and a big crash in 2008, 2009. Then a peak again in say around the second quarter of 2011. Then everything crashed. It has been crashing since then. But if we look at this closer up, but I want to look at this chart a little bit long range for another reason too. This is what you're almost playing out the same pattern. You don't want to concentrate just on silver. You want to just concentrate on gold. But you can see what's happening here. Why this roll rose like this was QE. So things are looking like retracing again pretty bad, right? Well, the commodities markets across the board do have an effect upon what's going on in industry. That means there's a slowdown. The prices are dropping that much. So more than likely, the world doesn't revolve around silver, but it does revolve around pretty much most of the commodities when you put them all together in one basket. And that's what this Commodity Research Bureau Index is about. So you can see how much we've retraced since the first half of 2011, say around April, May 2011. It's quite a bit. So, you think he's going to hold off on QE forever? No. I don't. It's not that far off, and that's what the markets are reacting to. Now, that could be off of some false rumors and this kind of garbage, and it could go down. The one thing I'm thinking that could really drive it down a lot is, a false flag attack, and that's what will get us involved in a war with Iran. Now, this is the same commodity index, Commodity Research Bureau Index, over 1 year, and like looking at it over a month, you can see it's been going up just recently. This is a better tool because, that's one beef I have about some of the people that talk about silver. If all the commodities are going down and silver's going down, and say silver went down a little bit more, but a little bit less, they don't all move exactly together. If they're all going down and silver's going down, it's not a conspiracy that silver's going down. That's just how it is. I mean, that's the way the markets are turning. Yeah, I know there's games going on, but I can never buy into the theory that J.P. Morgan is totally controlling the price of silver across the whole globe. Yeah, I just can't buy into that. But I know why I have physical silver, because it's going to be something to protect you when they start doing QE again. Looking at this index, you're going to see this shoot up to new heights off this chart. That's going to be all the commodities. And silver and palladium are going to be doing the best out of all of them. Maybe platinum too. I think gold is going to go way up, but once they start QE, watch the industrial metals start really cooking hard. They're going to start moving up very fast. Now, this is a chart on silver. Now, you could say maybe we bounced off this 26 something again. And, you know, I don't know for a fact if it's going to test 24, 25. I think it is, but not so much all on the technicals. Well, I guess there's one technical I do believe in a lot is Fibonacci. But if you look from way back, and you look over a big long range, we could test 24, 25 if you're looking at Fibonacci from a low of what it was back in 2008, 2009 to the high of April of 2011. We could test that. So what I'm thinking is, there could be some kind of catastrophic news just to bring it down really fast. It could be the false flag attack. I mean, that's not so crazy to think because false flag attacks have occurred in the past. I mean, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist not to see that. That's what we've had happen. And this is the gold chart, and it's not as clear on this, but you could say gold tested the 15 something a couple times. So maybe we can call this a double bottom, and it's going to take off from there. I personally don't trust it. I don't trust it. I just don't think if it goes down and everybody's going to be talking about 18, 15, 20 and all this garbage, I just think it's going to go solidly below 26. I don't think it's going to go like dramatically down to 20 or 15 or any of that kind of garbage. Because he's going to do QE. He is. He is. I mean, they're not stupid. They're realizing it right now. So, today we had a pretty damn good day on all the metals. Everything was flying up. Palladium was flying up. Palladium actually is all across the board worse than silver, That market is pretty crazy, but I swear that's got the biggest potential. I'm not just trying to pump and dump it. I mean, big deal. I could wait. More concerned, and crude oil went up a lot too. Now, crude oil went up a lot because of the Iranian sanctions coming in, and of course, not just about the sanctions, but an attitude that the monetary easing is going to start being implemented by the central banks. Now, normally when they have this widespread consensus something's going to happen, it usually don't. But I still think it's around the corner. Maybe it'll be late summer, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing here because, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I just use my instincts, and I don't just use instincts. I read a lot of stuff. I just try to boil it down in one simplistic thing when I do one of these videos here. I don't like getting too rigid and technical. I just realized that there's so many people all of a sudden change their mood so fast. It's almost like the news is too good. So we might see the commodity markets drop down again. We could. And I'm thinking, maybe a false flag attack or something in July that could cause it. That's usually how, and if you're the powers that be and say you really could move markets on a short term, I think the powers that be can move markets on the short term. I just can't think they can hold it like the price of silver down for like a year or something like that. That I can't see. But I think they can move it up pretty hard like in a month, and they can move it down pretty hard in a month. I think they got the capability of doing that, shorter term moves. So we might see something here that's, maybe it's a lot of different things that are pushing us up, and we're going to see it drop again from a false flag attack. Now, I do want to mention something else. I remember this guy, Dr. Kent Moores, was talking about $200, possibly $200 barrel oil by July 1st. Boy, that guy could have been more wrong than anything, because oil was probably around the bottom around June 28th. So he was way the hell off. And I saw that stuff on the internet. I didn't play on that, but it was buy options and make 10 times your money. I got the secret deal. God, I tell you, I don't know how wrong it could be, but that was a really bad call. I don't know. Just telling some people to beware out there of some of the garbage that goes on. Who knows if that guy's I don't know. I wouldn't listen to him. If he made a call like that, I would never listen to that guy again. I don't give a damn how many years of experience he's got or not. I just figured I'd point that out because I found that pretty interesting. It was like the opposite happened in oil versus what was predicted. $200, $150 to $200 versus what, 78. That's a pretty piss poor call. That's all I got to say about that. Now, I'm still long on oil, but I'm going to wait. I think it's actually going to hit 150 or something at some point in time. And when it gets up there enough, I'm going to start selling it. That's what I'm going to do. So, anyway, now as far as what's going to happen in the future, silver can't make up its mind if it's on or off. So, they don't call it the devil's metal for nothing. And if I use my own little devilish mind, I think it's actually going to take a nosedive here sometime in July. I think it might, due to a false flag attack. That's what I think. I don't know. And so, like, if I was anybody wants to invest in silver, if you're already heavily invested in silver, I wouldn't add anymore. I wouldn't add anymore because I don't know if the bottom's in yet. I'm actually waiting for like 25, 24 before I even commit any more money to it. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out. So I just don't think that it's wise to put too much money into metals. So that's just how I'm playing. I'm already pretty much all the way in there, but I'm not going to go all the rest of the way in there. So people that are into silver, I know they got a one-track mind. They're pretty much silver, 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 silver. And you got to look at everything else that's going on. So I also want to actually say here at the end, a lot of times when silver's going down, it's all the markets are going down. There's a reaction throughout the commodities. Doesn't work like that every day, but I mean some days silver has good days, and whereas the other commodities don't, and in other days silver has bad days, whereas other commodities might have good days. So it's but in general speaking, I mean silver is basically following the market. I don't think that the powers that be, like J.P. Morgan, I think they can influence the price of commodities on short term. I don't even think they can hold the price of a commodity down for even a year. That's just my opinion. And, you're talking about a global market. It's pretty big, But really, if you're going to make money, you make money on the short moves up and down, right? So, and you also got to remember there's a lot of smart people watching J.P. Morgan and a lot of people that are former employees of J.P. Morgan that are playing against him. So I like just want to urge people not to get too much into this silver's being suppressed and it's one big conspiracy. Now silver's going to go up again a lot. It's going to hit new record highs. But that's going to be because of quantitative easing, because they got no way out of the situation that they're playing with the debt in a fiat currency. That's why it's going to go way the hell up. And I also want to interject that silver probably is never going to be money again like it used to be back in the 1800s and before and all that type of stuff and how it was in antiquity. They're not going to do that. Not that I could see. I mean, unless the whole power structure on the top is totally like wiped out or something. But anybody that's in control right now, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. We might go to probably a currency based upon a broad base of commodities. And but still, silver is going to do very, very well. So I'm not against the silver investment at all. I just think there's some myths out there, and people got to watch for those myths because they get led into traps.